What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 355 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse pod on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. KB, Deej is still copying me, and that's why I'm not looking at the screen just yet. We've got kind of a light episode for the first time in a long time. Just NLL stuff to go all around. PLL kind of on a little hush mode, which means, you know, in a couple weeks, we'll probably have the most chaotic coverage of PLL and WLL news that we could ever ask for. Especially since we're closing in on just being like a month and a half away from Champ Series, which is absurd. And I need everyone in Springfield, Virginia to lower your hotel cost rates because they're too damn high. But we're going to get into the NLL, obviously the news with Tyson Bell, also the news that is in a positive light about the homie friend of the pod who we need to have on at some point so she can become a recurring guest, Maki Jenner. She's got a whole lot of headlines in the news right now for a lot of positivity in the lacrosse world, and we'll give you our picks because we had a great picks week last week, Deej, and it's our final episode of 2024, which is just absurd to say. Hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas. Hope everyone who celebrates Hanukkah is enjoying Hanukkah. Everyone who enjoys Kwanzaa and celebrates Kwanzaa is celebrating Kwanzaa. And if you don't celebrate anything, I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. But make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board. Follow DJ at SCS_next great. Follow Hoots at Hoots Sports Media. The Mammoth at home again this week? No. Yes. So Hoots will be Hoots on the ground again on Sunday. Just absolutely crushing the game for us out in Colorado. Follow Chase at the PLL Pipeline. You can follow me, KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow, takes us to new levels, allows us to do more dope stuff with and for you guys. So keep subscribing. Leave a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. It's where you get full video episodes of this show every week, full video episodes of every show on our network, which includes, Deej, drum roll please, everyone in the chat. Let's get drum emojis going. The return of Top Bins to our network, January 1st, 2025, hosted by yours truly and Harrison Cremens, and a plethora of rotating regular guest hosts. That's going to be an absolute doozy, but we said, why are we going to have dead IP on the network when we can utilize it? So Top Bins returns January 1st, 2025. Be ready. It's going to be a fun time. And you'll get that on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, along with this show and every other show on our network. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show is proudly presented by Shootout For Soldiers, the official presenting partner of the Outside the Box podcast. Shootout For Soldiers is just bringing together community with the sport of lacrosse to support our nation's veterans. They are just doing magnificent things in the community across the nation. And their events are second to none. And genuinely, I am 100% looking to get out to a Shootout For Soldiers event in 2025. You should do the same. Follow Shootout For Soldiers on social media. Check out their website to see how you can get involved with Shootout For Soldiers, how you can donate, how you can register for events when they become available. And guess what, guys? They've got events available now for 2025. Those events, February 15th at High Point University. They have their military appreciation games going on February 15th. And then Shootout For Soldiers is taking the show to Houston, Texas, March 8th and March 9th. Both of those events, both at High Point and the Shootout For Soldiers event in Houston, Texas are available now to register for. It's linked in the description. Go to shootoutforsoldiers.com/events. Register for both. If you're in the North Carolina area, going down to High Point University for their military appreciation games. Go to Shootout For Soldiers in Houston, Texas. I'm not sure if this is the first time that they've been to Texas or not, but it's certainly a new event for them post Pandy Wandy era for sure. So check out those events, learn how to register, learn how to donate. Everything is linked in the description. Follow Shootout For Soldiers on social media. They're on everything across the board. They do a phenomenal job on social, and register for an event. It is truly one of the coolest things that you can attend, where it's bridging lacrosse, community, and helping out our nation's veterans in such a positive and impactful way. And we thank Shootout For Soldiers for being the proud presenting partner of the Outside the Box podcast. It's poppin' Deej. Bowl game Deej in the building.
Yeah, bro. I was at the game above Sports Bowl, and I had a fantastic time. First off, stumbled across the $1 tickets on StubHub, and then there was only like $5 in fees. I don't think they charged me taxes at all either, so like that was cool. So basically went to this game for $12 for me and one other person. Had a fantastic time. Game went to 6 overtimes. Electricity in the building was through the roof. And ran into a good friend on the way out, and had a fun little conversation with him, which I'm sure we'll get to some of that stuff down the road.
Just let him know who you ran into. It's a long time friend of the program.
I ran into a one and only good friend, amazing coach of not only the Ohio Northern Polar Bears, but also the California Redwoods, Nat St. Laurent. And we had a nice little conversation. It was fun. So yeah, that game was great, and I did not expect to see him on my way out the door.
I gotta hit him up. He still owes me Ohio Northern gear.
And you know what?
I told him I'd wear it on pod.
And you know what? Me too. He owes me an Ohio Northern something, and I owe him an Adrian something, because you know what? Adrian turned around and beat them this past year. So
like, I'm always going to support friends of the program.
We both got to do a little something about that.
I got to hit his line. Yeah, it's bowl season. It's cold as hell outside season.
Don't even talk to me about that. You don't even know.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
Frigid over here.
What's another word we can?
Well, actually, it ain't been too bad the last couple of days, but
today significantly warmed up here. But
yeah,
this entire week, and I went back to the day job Monday and Tuesday this week for the first time since before Thanksgiving, and I walked out to my car on Monday morning, and it was, I believe, 9 degrees, and I was like, nah, I'm going back inside. I wanted to just stay inside so badly.
Yeah, we've been getting that for about a month now.
It's ridiculous.
It's been ridiculous, yes.
And then the worst part was, like, Monday was just like cold. Like, it was just like cold. Tuesday, it was cold and there was some wind.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
It's on the way.
Terrible.
It's on the way.
But now today is
better get your coat on.
A brisk 42 degrees today.
Yeah, we were up in that area today too. Just get that coat, big dog.
Man, I need summertime ASAP. I hate weather shit.
I've been wearing a coat for like a month now, but I'm also like paper thin. So like,
that's true.
I'll fuck around and blow away.
The wind blows, you fall over.
Literally.
You're like, whoa. You're like the car dealership things.
Hey, chill. Not an inflatable tube, man.
Yeah, we got a super sweet
inflatable tube, man.
Out here looking like Wilt from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Hey, that's fine. Long limbs have advantages.
Here's my thing with Wilt. Why did he have a nub for one of his arms? I never understood that. I feel like they never explained that.
No, they didn't. And it didn't make sense.
At all. I also love the theory that
I mean, he's old, handsome Emmanuel.
Right. But I also love the theory that Frankie is Madame Foster's imaginary friend.
Ah.
Because she's the only other human that can see all of the imaginary friends.
Mm-hmm.
And Madame Foster and Frankie wear like the same type of clothes and the same color clothes and everything. So it's like, oh, she just imagined a younger self of her to be her imaginary friend. I was like, ooh, I like that theory. That show is slept on.
It's a little slept on, yeah.
Amazing.
I wasn't like over the top about it, but I watched it.
That's like a solid, like, if you're doing like the tier rank, that's like a solid, like, high end B tier show.
Yeah.
So good. They don't make them like that anymore. That's the thing.
I know.
They do these things that are one season and it's done. Same thing with comedy movies. We said it after the Burt Kreischer movie. They don't make them like that anymore.
That movie was great.
You know what movie we got to see? It's with your homegirl.
I got a lot of homegirls.
No, like your homegirl. Keke Palmer.
Ah.
We got to go see One of Them Days.
Okay.
Have you seen the trailer for this movie?
I have not.
Oh my god, bro. It comes out beginning of January. This movie, you and I, it's our type of humor where we're going to be pissing ourselves watching this movie. It's Keke Palmer and SZA are the stars with Cat Williams in the movie as well.
I would pay an exuberant amount of money for just one night.
Movies
with the both
Janelle
of them.
James is in it. Like, it's going to be so goddamn funny. We need to see that together, and we need to see the Kendrick Lamar South Park guys movie. Do you know the premise of that movie?
I do not.
See, this is how we make the episode longer for everyone. It's not just like 50 minutes we bullshit about
things that don't correlate whatsoever.
Both of these movies, the One of Them Days and this movie, it's an untitled Trey Parker film, who's the guy from South Park. They're both on my most anticipated movies for 2025 that we listed off on Streamer Season last week. So this movie is Trey Parker. Kendrick Lamar is going to be starring in this movie. It comes out July 4th, too. Here's the premise. The film will depict the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. Directed by Trey Parker, South Park extraordinaire, starring Kendrick Lamar, and produced by Kendrick. So you know it's going to be unbelievable.
People just get bored, bro. People just get bored. Because how does this even come to your mind, bro?
But see, this is where we're moving away from some of the stuff with movies like this, where I'd rather have an original IP get created and it's this like out of left field type of plot than have the bastardized live action Disney movies continue to roll out of the classic animated movies. Come up with something original.
I don't be watching them shits no more.
No, I'd never watch them. I refuse to. But come up with something original. Like, why are we remaking American Psycho? We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Happy for Austin Butler. I'm sure he's going to do a great job. But we don't need to remake something that is just so perfect like that. Give us original IP like this. Give us good, like, solid movies again. We don't need to just recreate shit just for the sake of like, oh, we're lazy and we don't know what to do, but we know this will make us a lot of money. The fuck out of here. But we need to see these movies together because they're going to be fucking unbelievable.
Okay. We can definitely do that.
The fact that that movie comes out on July 4th too is insane.
Oh, that's perfect timing. It probably was intentional,
Oh, 100%.
and I'm here for it.
It's gonna be so good. Shall we get to the NLL? Now that everyone's heard our cinephile talk for the last 10 minutes. Let's wrap up the week that was in the NLL in week 4. It was a short week, easy week for us in picks. We go 3-1 in our picks. The Wings score 15 goals yet again and beat the Desert Dogs in Vegas 15-9. Saskatchewan gets by Rochester 14-12. Colorado, in an eventful game, win 19-14 against Halifax. And then Georgia, our only blemish in picks, they defeat San Diego out in San Diego 11-8 and get the ultimate tiebreakers. They now have the season series in hand this early in the year over San Diego, which could come into play down the line. Easy, simple week. Anything in particular stand out to you outside of the obvious that occurred off the floor in Colorado? But anything from these games kind of tickle your fancy this past week?
I have a couple questions. Well, I have 2 questions and a comment. Georgia owns San Diego, and that's not a question.
In 2024.
A.
I do want to
And-
check something now that you bring that up, though.
Until it happens again. And at this point, Georgia owns San Diego. Is Rochester broken?
No, they have a goaltending problem for sure. I wouldn't say broken. I'd say they're battered. But I wouldn't say necessarily broken because it's not like their offensive players aren't available. I genuinely think they just have a goaltending issue that stems beyond a return of a goaltender. Like, that's a big issue for them. Their defense is bad. Like, very bad. They don't have an anchor on that defense. They literally like recycled the Philadelphia Wings defense from the last couple of years. And we all know how that turned out. They have 40-year-old Ian Lord running out there trying to be an enforcer. Like, I don't know. I think they miscalculated a little bit in the dispersal draft. I'll say that too.
And is 15 the magic number for the Wings?
So far,
That's
2-1.
kind of what I was picking up. Is 15's almost like that magic number. You get to 15, you're going to win 90%
Or be in
of
the
those
game.
games.
Yeah. They've scored 15 or more in every single game, which is a drastic shift in just like positivity from the offense from last year. I like the way they're moving the ball. That's for damn sure. I think to go back to your Rochester point as I try to find, because I want to see what the Georgia Swarm's record was against San Diego last season to see how many times in 2024, like as a calendar year, they beat that Georgia beat San Diego. But Rochester, I genuinely think it's their defense. Their entire back end is broken. I'll give you that. And it's just bad. Their defense is not good. They're relying heavily on like 5 guys, mainly Connor Fields, Ryan Smith, and then guys like McConvey, Blanchberry, and Curtis Knight to carry them and outscore opponents while their defense and goaltending just bleeds out. They definitely have problems on the back end, and it's more than one. And it's not just your starting goalie being out; it's your defense is bad. They're slow, and you can't win in the NLL when your defense is bad and slow. I've witnessed that the last couple of years with the Philadelphia Wings, and they had much better goaltending, which covered up a lot of the issues when you have Zach Higgins back there. But again, somebody like Zach Higgins can only do so much, and we kind of saw that come to a head last year with the Wings. And when you're Rochester and you see that, and you go and acquire an Ian Lord, and I think Chad Tutton is a very good lacrosse player, but you don't have the other pieces around to make Chad Tutton be as useful as he can be. That's a problem. They're not winning faceoffs, which you and I are both on the same page. You need to win faceoffs to win in this league. And Jake Naso is doing things that a very select company have done in NLL history to start his NLL career. Rochester might be in trouble before we know it, and that's a problem for them because they're too talented offensively to be in situations that they're in, and they got to figure some things out quick and figure out, what do we got to do to right this ship going into the new year.
Yeah, I don't see too many problems with their offense, but I don't know if maybe they're falling privy to the pressure of giving up so many goals. But they're not scoring enough either. 7 last week against Vancouver, or
Yeah, it was bad.
the week before against Vancouver, and that was after putting up 7 against Buffalo.
And they got worked at the stripe in all of these games.
Yeah,
Connor Farrell, Stathakis, and now Jake Naso.
And they had their one win of the year against Vegas, 14-12. Even that was a dogfight. It's their offense seems to be falling prey to how many goals their defense is giving up and kind of having to play that behind catch-up game. It's like a quarterback getting a bunch of yardage and touchdowns at the end of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the good ones to have in fantasy, because if their team's always losing, they're going to throw the ball and then they're going to get a bunch of points. It's it's the opposite though in real life. You don't want to be in that position because you want to win games. And right now Rochester isn't winning games. So I don't feel like there's a problem with their offense, but I do feel like they've fallen prey to the circumstances.
Yeah, I did find it. Georgia lost February 23rd, 2024 at San Diego in overtime. So they go 2-1 against the Seals in the year 2024. But yeah, I think Rochester is in a whole hell of a lot of trouble compared to what I think they thought they would be going into this year, and where I think a lot of people expect them to be this year. One of the benefits is we know they can right the ship offensively almost like that because they have the talent to do it. It's just a matter of having that talent going in all facets. And in games where, it hasn't really gone their way, for their goal differential to only be -11 is kind of okay. And it tells you more so that their defense and their transition game is kind of more the problem than the offense. And I think part of the transition game being an issue is they're not getting possessions for those guys on offense and those stars to go out and score, because we know when Connor Fields and Ryan Smith have the ball in their stick, more often than not, they're connecting for goals. And that makes the McConveys and Lanchberry and Curtis Knight that much more effective as well. But they definitely have some things to figure out. Otherwise, it's going to get late real early for Rochester. Just like I think it's getting late real early for Halifax, Deej. We said it on the pod last week that Colorado has played this brand of lacrosse so far to start the year where if you poke and prod at an opponent and get under their skin, that opponent's going to combust. Who's a team that is known for a lot of combustion over the years? It's the Halifax Thunderbirds. And they're 0-3. Their goal differential is not terrible because, again, they're another team that has an explosive offense. But like you mentioned too, Warren Hill, if you find the spots to beat them in a game, the floodgates can open, and look what happened. They let up 19 goals last week. Got to see how many of those Warren gave up. I wasn't able to catch the full game of this one last week, but I did see most of it. I forget, Warren Hill got pulled after giving up 5 goals and only played 10 minutes. So then Drew Hutchison comes in, gets the loss. Halifax worked them at the faceoff stripe. Jake Withers had a great game. They're even on the power. Both teams had 8 power play opportunities in this game. But again, penalty minutes wise, Halifax is in the penalty box for 43 minutes in this game. That's almost an entire game worth of penalty minutes. Colorado is in for 33. But, good grief, guys. The undisciplined play from Halifax, and looking at the penalty summary here of just what the penalties were. You get a 2-minute holding penalty fine. Dawson Theed gets 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, 2 minutes for roughing. You get an illegal substitution towards the end of the second quarter. Dawson Theed gets another unsportsmanlike conduct. You get another illegal substitution. You get a dead ball foul. You get Mitch Wild on a cross-check foul. And then the fourth quarter rolls around. Dawson Theed gets 2 minutes for body checking, then gets a 10-minute unsportsmanlike conduct, which pretty much knocks him out for the entire game. Dawson Theed gets 5 minutes for fighting. Dawson Theed gets a 10-minute game misconduct. Warren Jeffrey also got a 10-game misconduct along with 5 minutes for fighting. So that could be an issue if he's available. I don't know if that results in a suspension or not, but Dawson Theed's got to realize I got to be better. And I don't know, Halifax, they're a team that, we've talked about them since you've come onto the pod and we've been doing NLL together. They're a team that's very Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what to expect from them week in and week out. They're very unpredictable. And it's for stuff like this because they can shoot themselves in the foot and a whole game can unravel in a matter of minutes. And then the unfortunate, situation that happens after the game is Halifax is walking to the locker room and you have the fan interaction with Tyson Bell, and Tyson Bell swings his stick at a fan and hits a fan with his stick. Should we get into this now? You and I have been talking about this off pod. We've talked to a bunch of people about it. We've seen people talk about it. Tyson Bell is now slated, according to our good friend Adam Levy. I want to pull up the full details here. He's going to have a court appearance because charges have been pressed. According to CBC News, a police report has been filed against Halifax Thunderbirds Tyson Bell with the Denver Police Department. Bell is due to appear in court on January 22nd regarding his incident with fans after last weekend's Thunderbirds and Colorado Mammoth game. It's not great. Tyson Bell is a friend of the program, has followed us for a very long time, a long-time listener of the show. We've had great interactions with Tyson throughout the years. Number one, Tyson has to know, hey, no matter what happened with the interactions, and we've seen a number of things thrown out there that did happen, all of them shitty. Those fans, number one, security's got to do a better job. I'm all for banter from fans. I'm all for, lighthearted fun, booing, whatever it may be. But there's a line that you cross that needs to be addressed by security, needs to be addressed by whomever. Those fans, if they were doing the things that were being thrown out on the interwebs, you got to get them out of there, especially when they're in the party zone. They're probably drunk off their asses. I'm not accusing them of anything there. Allegedly, you're in the party zone. You're probably having a good time, having a couple drinks flowing through you. Security's got to be better, number one. Number two, it's very strange that your party zone is right near the opponent's exit to the locker room. That I'm going to assume might be addressed, when Colorado has a bye. Maybe there's a change. Who knows? Number three, insert the ever so hilarious and famous TikTok of the gentleman with the nice little graph representation of the more you fuck around, the more you're going to have to find out. Old buddy fucked around, and he certainly found out. On the opposite side of this, I don't blame Tyson for losing his cool, because I'm sure, coming off a loss like that, it was a heated game. His emotions are running high. His adrenaline's running high. You hear allegedly someone bad-mouthing and talking about your significant other. You don't know what's going to happen. You're in a different mindset than you would be at a calmer state of mind. Also, Tyson's got to recognize, hey, my adrenaline's pumping high right now. We just lost a game again. We haven't won all year to start the year. We know we're better than this. Tension was high. I can't let some no-name bozo get under my skin to that degree to where now I'm indefinitely suspended by my team. I'm awaiting potential, suspension and discipline from the league. And now I have to go to Colorado and make a court appearance and face the repercussions for my actions. It sucks. It's unfortunate that this is the light that, over the weekend the NLL was put into, of a player, swinging their stick at a fan and hearing allegedly what said fan was doing to cause that to occur. All in all, it's a shitty situation. I hope that fan faces repercussions from Ball Arena. And we'll see where it goes, January 22nd. I hate having to see players, especially in this league that we have seen now in a few instances, have to make court appearances for their actions, whether it be on or off the floor. It's not great. It sucks. I'm sure the Thunderbirds organization is pissed because Tyson's a very good player too. But all in all, this situation sucks, and we'll see what happens. Your thoughts on everything, Deej?
First, I'm going to speak as a player and a human. If those things were done, win or loss, I would have done the same thing Tyson did. Maybe not gone as far as swinging my stick, but I definitely would have had physical words for them. That there, like you said, there are certain lines that get crossed and certain consequences that come with that. So it's like that. I don't want this to come off as wrong, but like I personally don't see wrong with his actions, because I could see myself doing the exact same thing in that scenario. But now, as a coach, as a media personality, as a fan of the game, you got to look at that dude, flip him the bird, tell him fuck off, something like that, and keep it pushing.
Call him a bitch, whatever.
Whatever you have to do.
What's the old adage? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Fuck that. That's bullshit. Words hurt. I don't know who
They
came up
can.
with that
They
shit.
can. But here, like
That
at the end of the day,
manipulation is crazy. Words
somebody
hurt.
sure, but in this situation,
No, don't shirt me right now.
No, in this situation, Tyson Bell calling that guy a bitch, calling him an asshole, flipping him the bird, telling him to fuck off, whatever. At the end of the day, that's not going to cause issues for Tyson like it is right now. Like you said, removing yourself from the situation, being a member of the media, being a fan of the sport, of the league, post-game, tensions simmered now. I'm sure Tyson's thinking the same thing. I should have just called him a motherfucker and walked off and flipped him the bird on the way out. You and I were on the same page with everything on this, though. Like, we're not necessarily mad at Tyson for doing this. It's unfortunate. But we also know that, and this is no offense to Tyson, he's got a temper. We've seen it before. It's nothing new for him. So also for that fan, you have to know you're walking into a layer of hell that you probably did not want to cash in that admit one ticket for.
Man.
Because Tyson Bell is one of the few people I'd ever want to run into in an alley. And by alley, I mean a nice little portal to the locker room. Because he is not afraid to fuck you up.
As you can see.
Correct. And again, we like Tyson Bell. We are fans of Tyson. We consider him a homie. He has been a longtime listener of the show. And it sucks that he's going to be off the floor indefinitely. But again, very much like the fan, you fuck around, you find out. Tyson is unfortunately finding out the repercussions of his actions.
If we're being honest, I low-key think indefinitely is a little too much.
I think it's just for the organization's mental well-being, for our good friend Austin Owens on social, and just for the front office to wait out everything with the court appearance. That way they're not putting a time frame on it for themselves, and then something else happens, and then they have to re-announce, oh, Tyson is suspended again, and this, that, and the third. I think it's just an easy way for them to.
But my thing is, if you suspend him and then he goes to jail or whatever, like, you don't have to say anything else. You don't have to, or like, you're like, oh, like we're just gonna suspend him because, like, something happened, and then he gets charged with something, doesn't get jail or whatever, and they're like, oh, we're gonna suspend him longer. Like, that's like what they call it's in the Bill of Rights. You can't do that. You can't charge somebody twice for the same thing and penalize them twice for the same thing.
Right, which is why I think they're doing the indefinite suspension, so that way it plays itself out, you see where it is, and then you take action from there.
But I think they should just take action and call it a day.
Because I also think that if it goes to, whatever, above and beyond what I think it should, it'll be more of a league issue, and then the league can handle it. And then it's kind of like, okay, we can lift our thing. It's in the league's hands now. I think it's just to buy time is why it's indefinite. They don't want to put a finite, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a finite kind of just like stamp on, like, oh, once this date hits the calendar, we're good to go, and then just more happens from it. I think it's just for a just clarity standpoint for the organization and them covering their bases, which you can't knock them for it. So we'll see what happens. It sucks. It's annoying when like that's a clip that runs around social media rather than insane like highlight goals and shit. But our good friend Dan Lomas said, "Hey, it looks like Barstool Sports is talking about the NLL." So
that I'm just saying, I'm one of those people where like different things are going to draw in different people, and like, I'm sorry, most sports ain't got people swinging sticks at people. So like, if we can take advantage of it, do it. I'm not saying people should go out and do this every week, but like, at the same time, we have to understand that these kind of things do draw in a few fans. A few people do like to see fighting, and they do like to see the excitement and the big hits and, like, all the things that we don't really think are, like, a focal point of lacrosse. It's a focal point for some people. How do you think a lot of people got into hockey? They saw that they could fight, and then they were like, "Oh, I wanna go see a hockey game because 'cause they're fighting," and then they realize that they enjoy just the atmosphere in hockey in general, and then they become a fan. Don't block man, I ain't finna get religious on y'all, but don't block your blessings. Like you already counting shit too fast. You feel me? Like it's like you trying to sit here and say like this shouldn't be something that we should be praising. And no, don't praise it. But hey, if it goes around and it gets viral, and then that's 50 to I mean 5,000 more people just got introduced to lacrosse for the first time because of that clip, and maybe 500 of them start watch it, or maybe 2,500 of them watch a game, and then another 1,500 of them become fans. That's 1,500 new fans of lacrosse. Sure, it wasn't the best way that they got here, but they're fucking here. Spin everything positively. Y'all are so fucking negative. It's just disgusting.
What do you say? Fuck me, fo. But yeah, that's the Tyson Bell debacle. To your Wings point, they look fucking good, man. And I know it's Vegas. I know Vegas's back end is very bad as well. But that's what you're supposed to do. That's any sport. You take advantage of the weak spots on your opponent and you exploit them, and then you win the game. That's what the Wings have done the last 2 weeks against Vegas, a team that they should beat, a team that they should have swept, and they did. And they took advantage of that opportunity and absolutely made that organization look so silly the last 2 games. They're fun to watch. They move the ball so much better than they have, I think, in any year I have covered this team. They're moving the ball with just like confidence. And I think that's a huge thing for this team right now too, is they are confident lacrosse and they look damn good. They are like enforcing their will on their opponents. And I think this week coming up, which we'll get into when we go into the preview, against Saskatchewan on the road, the way that the Rush have been playing, this is going to be a great test for them. And I'm looking forward to the game this week because, it's finally a different opponent the first time since San Diego. But the fact that they are scoring 15 plus goals a game in every single game is such a positive sign for this team. The defense gets better as the game goes on. Nick Damude looks fantastic. And, there's not much, if you're a Wings fan, to complain about this year. And I got to say, my Twitter mentions are loving it because I'm not catching any strays of complaints about the team. But again, another big takeaway from especially these last 2 games is Joe Resetarits is looking like a spring chicken. He's out there just moving the ball, racking up assists. I think in the 2 games against the Desert Dogs, he combined for 24 points on his own. 7 goals, 17 assists in 2 games against one opponent. Sounds pretty good to me. The way that he is playing this year is, I think, what everyone expected from Joe Resetarits when he arrived in Philadelphia. And it's making everyone around him better. It's making Mitch Jones' life that much easier. It's making Blaze's life that much easier. It's obviously making Brendan O'Neill's life that much easier. They're playing a great style of lacrosse right now, and they're getting the other guys involved too. The Phil Caputos and the Sam Leclercs are getting theirs, and you need those types of guys to contribute in order to win in this league. And when those guys are contributing, that means the offense is going on all cylinders. And I am just loving what this team is doing right now offensively. I'm loving their defense. Their transition game is so much more fluid than it has been in years past. And the past couple games, they've been doing it with, some guys stepping up. Like, the game in Philly, Nathan Fair steps up as your third line of defense at the faceoff dot. Tyler Burton was back in this game, and you're having guys step up, and they're playing good team lacrosse, which I think the last season in particular was not there. And we'll see what they do against Saskatchewan, but they're playing a very fun style of lacrosse right now. And I think people are just sleeping on it simply because they lost their first game of the year to a very good San Diego Seals team. And their last 2 games they've played against the worst team in the league.
I mean, y'all are all right. Y'all are all right. Y'all are good. Y'all ain't gonna beat us. We're cooking.
Okay.
We're cooking.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Which I gotta eat another Big Mac soon. Probably tomorrow, honestly. I don't have much going on. But what get ahead of ourselves. Get ahead of ourselves.
We still have games to play before we play each other. Let's
not God forbid an injury, but
let's pump the brakes.
I'm not worried. Are y'all question mark for you? Are y'all undefeated?
No.
What was that?
No.
Okay.
And that's fine. You win some, you lose some.
And you know who is? Go ahead and say it.
The NFL, Calgary Roughnecks. You know what NFL stands for? Not for long.
Oh, really?
You got to worry about Vancouver before you worry about the Wings. See about
that. Vancouver?
Yeah.
You think I'm worried about 1-1 Vancouver?
You should be.
I'm not. We're going to cook.
Christian Del Bianco, we know who he's rooting for.
I bet. Hopefully he's rooting for me because he wants to see me eat another Big Mac.
Bowl right here.
I just hope he's rooting for me so he can see me eat another Big Mac. That's what I think he's rooting for. He wants to see me eat more Big Macs.
He's wishing he was in black and gold in this one.
Matter of fact, I got leftover Christmas food. I was going to say I might go get a Big Mac today, but why would I do that? It's deliciousness at home. But yeah, I think you guys are great. I think you guys have been playing good ball. The defense, I think, looks a lot better. I think that's the big thing. We talked about that quite a bit over the last year or so, and definitely last year and over, the dispersal draft and draft and free agency. So I like to see that they have kind of stepped up and they make plays in kind of some of the more important times as tides are turning or there's like a chance for momentum to go either way. The defense in transition has been there to make a few plays for the Wings to help, tilt things their way. So that's kind of what has caught my eye is that back end has really started to help Demute out, and it's paying off with giving the offense plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, and I think, you look at that San Diego game, and we talked about it. We said it was a positive for them to score 15, even though in a loss, you take that with so many new components to this team. And I think I said it from the moment they acquired him in the dispersal draft. Connor Sellers is such a presence on this defense. And I love how everyone was clowning him because he got in that fight with David Brock last weekend. And the whole time he has his helmet on. And as soon as his helmet gets, yanked off, he runs to the penalty box. No, that's what we call in the business, everyone. That's a business decision. Connor Sellers, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. This is all allegedly. Anytime I've seen Connor Sellers, he's wearing glasses, Deej. He's even got glasses on in his headshot that pops up on the Jumbotron at the Wells Fargo Center. I'm just saying, maybe Connor Sellers doesn't want to get punched in the eyes because he doesn't want his vision to get that much more messed up. Or he doesn't want to alter what his vision is right now. I thought that was a brilliantly smart move by him. You want to tussle with me? I'm gonna keep my helmet on. You rip it off. We're done. I'll take the penalty. You take the penalty. It's a wrap. That was smart fighting by Connor Sellers.
I think that's also why I didn't mind fighting in games. I'm like, I got gloves on. You got a helmet on. You're gonna feel it, but like my hand not gonna hurt. My face is okay. You're all right. You might got a concussion, but shouldn't have did that dumb shit. But yeah, I agree. You got to protect. Yeah, I mean, let alone his eyes, just your face, your money makers. Right. Like, for me, this right here makes all my money. Without this, I'm almost no one. So I can't be getting hit in my face because then my mouth ain't gonna work right, and then I ain't gonna make no money. So yes, once the helmet comes off, I'm gonna just go take my
See ya.
time, and we can fight to live another day.
Yep. And then looking at the rest of the games that happened last week, did we miss anything here? Not really. I mean, I think surprise of the season so far, and everyone's talking about Saskatchewan being 3-0 is pretty damn impressive, and the way that they're playing, and I think it's all starting at the faceoffs for them. Naso's been unfucking believable.
I mean, hey, we've talked about it more times than we can count.
Yep.
How important the face-off is starting to become. So,
Especially in the NLL.
Yeah, it's not a surprise to us that he's doing so well.
Yeah. So your standings after week 4, Georgia is at the top of the table simply because they have scored one more goal than Saskatchewan. They're 3-0 with a +5 score differential. Saskatchewan is 3-0 with a +4 score differential. Buffalo 2-0, and they have only conceded 14 goals all year, which is crazy. Calgary 2-0 with a +2 goal differential, so that's why they're below Buffalo. Colorado 3-1. They look great too. Like, I know they have the one loss, but they kept it close. They look so much better than they did all of last year at any point. The Wings are 2-1. San Diego is 2-2. Vancouver 1-1. So if the playoffs started after week 4, that's what the playoffs would be. That's your top 8 right now. And then on the outside looking in, Ottawa's 1-1 with a -5 score differential. Albany's 1-2 with a positive score differential. Rochester's 1-3. Halifax and Toronto are both 0-3, and then Vegas is 0-4. Shout out to the homie, future friend of the program, future recurring guest, Maki Jenner, too, this week as we get set for week 5. But one little button before we get into it. Maki Jenner is going to be the first female analyst on a NLL broadcast in league history this coming week. Maki works so hard and has worked so hard to just like break into where she is now. She is one of the most brilliant minds in the game. Obviously, coming from that Jenner lineage, it was a foregone conclusion she was going to be a presence in the sport. But everything that Maki Jenner does for the sport and the fact that she's getting this opportunity, she's also going to be hosting a podcast with Cooper Perkins for the league. I mean, she's earned every bit of this. She deserves every bit of this. And I couldn't be happier for a better person to be getting the flowers and the recognition and just everything that she deserves because she works so damn hard for it. And I can't wait to tune in to the broadcast and hear Maki in the booth because she's going to be fucking awesome.
She did some of the women's indoor.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. I had a fantastic time listening. She's very knowledgeable, which, like you said, is expected with her bloodline, but also just her voice is very different to hear than, everyone else's. And it's almost like, hey, I don't mind hearing her. I don't mind if she messes up. She's trying. I don't always feel that way. Like
She's
there's some
young
people,
too. Like, we're both young broadcasters. Like, we fuck up all the time. Like, there's
Oh,
moments
yeah.
where it's like, oh shit, I fucked that up, whatever. It's bound to happen. But the fact that Mackie's doing it on the big stage, doing it on TSN, it's going to be on the Thunderbirds and Firewolves broadcast on Saturday. She's carving a path for more young women to get into the sport of lacrosse, to get into the media side of the sport, and I couldn't be happier for her. She's genuinely one of the best humans I know, and I can't wait for this game just so I can hear Mackie's analysis. Like, genuinely, and I know this is very high praise. Mackie reminds me in the lacrosse world of what Mina Kimes is in the NFL world. The attention to detail that Mackie provides for lacrosse, the homework she does to make sure she is spot on as much as possible. Like, we're literally watching the lacrosse version of Mina Kimes come to life with Maki Jenner.
And I think that's a great comparison. There's a certain skill that it takes to be a color analyst, or to be an analyst of any sport, to be a play-by-play broadcast for any sport. You have to know, you have to be able to see, you have to be able to quickly process, and then you have to be able to have your own style. Those are all things that Mackie has, but then there's people that take certain parts of that to the next level, and the parts that she takes, you know, like you said, especially the attention to detail. I haven't had the opportunity to watch her watch a game, but you can tell by the way that she says things and how she processes them that she watches in a very not focused, but like determined way, to where like she doesn't want to miss anything because she understands it's all a story. Every second of every 30-second possession leads up to a climax at the end, and that all tells a story, and she understands that and is able to relay that back to the audience in such a beautiful way.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited for her. So if you're watching the NLL this weekend, tune into the Firewolves and Thunderbirds game and support Mackie, because she's genuinely such a bright spot for this sport in so many ways. And I couldn't be happier for her. She deserves this so much. And I think it's only going to be the start of hearing her in, the color analyst role on NLL broadcasts. And it's going to be so much fun to watch, and it's perfect because it's the first game of the weekend at 6:00. So you get your weekend started right. Go support Mackie, watch the game. It's going to be awesome. Couldn't be happier for her. And our week 4 NLL wrap up brought to you by our friends over at Buff. Guys, their giveaway for that trip to Jackson Hole is still going strong. You still have time to enter. The link and information is all in our bio, and it's in the description of the podcast, where you can win a trip for 2 to Jackson Hole ski resort. What a perfect way to start the new year. I mean, trip for 2 to one of the most iconic ski areas in the country, with our friends at Buff. And check out Buff's holiday sale. Get everything you need to protect your face, your head, and your just everything you need with Buff. They've got all different styles of their head wraps, of their face protectors. They've got beanies, they've got baseball caps, you name it. They got stuff for your dog. And they've got the Survivor collection as well, which is always pristine. It's the buffs that you see every single castaway wearing on the seasons. So click the link in the description, enter the giveaway for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Jackson Hole Ski Resort with our friends at Buff. Let's get into week 5, Deej. We've got more than 4 games this week, although it is pretty funny that after this week, just even looking more ahead, week 6, we only have 3 games.
Okay. What is happening with scheduling this year?
It's crazy.
I mean, I'm not necessarily complaining because it makes it easier to watch all the games that are on at the same time, but it's also weird to only have a few games every week.
Right. We got 6 though this week, which is nice. A nice little full slate. 5 games on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. We've got the Adjective Animals showdown in Halifax. The Albany Firewolves, the Halifax Thunderbirds at 6 p.m. on Saturday. 6:30, we've got a sold-out Bandit Land in the Ownership Bowl between Rochester and Buffalo. Ottawa and Toronto meet again, this time in Toronto at 7 p.m. And that Buffalo game's at 6:30. It's also banner raising night for the Bandits. 7 p.m. Ottawa at Toronto. 8 p.m. Philly at Saskatchewan. That's going to be an amazing game. 9 p.m. Vancouver at Calgary. And then 4 p.m. on Sunday is Georgia at Colorado. Quite a slate of games. Some interesting matchups that will determine a lot in the standings at the end of those games. I think first and foremost, I'm obviously looking forward to Philly and Saskatchewan for a multitude of reasons. I'm also looking forward to Georgia and Colorado because I think that game has potential to be game of the week. Those two teams are playing phenomenal lacrosse right now. You get Lyle versus Ed, Eli McLaughlin on the floor. You get Connor Kelly, who's been having a phenomenal start to this season, on the floor for Colorado. You get Andrew Q. You get Shane Jackson. It's a star-studded game on Sunday at 4 p.m. in a time slot that we don't have a lot of NFL games going on because we had games on Christmas. We have Saturday games. So it's a perfect opportunity to watch two star-studded teams that if Colorado wins, they jump Georgia in the standings.
So for this week, Albany Halifax has my attention. This is a chance for Albany to kind of really get back to being themselves and kind of get over that early lump in the road for them and kind of I don't think their offense has had too many problems, but they've kind of just had turnover problems in general as a team and have had a tough time controlling the pace of games. So I think that's something that can be addressed a little bit in this game and is also just a chance for them to grab some momentum on a team that's kind of grasping for anything in Halifax. And Halifax has a chance to play another team that's struggling, and maybe they're able to get on the right side of things and kind of clear their mind and play out some of the emotions that they have. So obviously that's going to be a game to watch, and they always have a weird. Oh, it's 6 p.m. That's not too bad for that, and obviously Buffalo banner raising night will be exciting. Philly going on the road against a tough Saskatchewan squad will be something I'll be looking forward to. I want Philly to win. I'm not saying they will right now, so don't be trying to clip that or not you, but people will be trying to come at me like, hey. No, I would like that because I have beliefs that my Calgary Roughnecks will win again this week, and if they lose and that we win, that puts us above them, and things continue to go in our way if other people lose and we don't. So that's all that is. And then obviously I'll be locked in and loaded Saturday night for my boys. And I think with us, I think we have a better chance in this game because we are welcoming them in. I think that if we go play Vancouver in Vancouver at this time, with as tough as our goaltending has been, it could get real out of hand. But I got a good feeling with us being at home in that game, so I'll be exciting. And then Georgia probably has been the most exciting team to watch so far this year. Really sad that I didn't make them my league pass team of the year again because I probably should have just stuck with Lyle Thompson like I wanted to. But they're still very fun to watch. And I mean, Colorado has had everybody on the edge of their seats to begin the year, so should be fireworks, blockbuster, and what will be a packed loud house. Excuse me. Will it be a packed loud house for what will be one of the probably what I have as game of the week right now?
Yeah, I think Philly and Saskatchewan, Georgia and Colorado, those two matchups with both teams competing give you the most to like take away from those games when it's all said and done. You'll know a lot about where those four teams are after this stretch of games by the results of those games and how they play. So I'm excited to see how it all shakes out. And those two games I'm going to be dialed in for. Albany Halifax has a chance to be an all-time just barn burner shit show type of game, which is always exciting. And then we'll really see how broken Rochester's back end is in a sold-out banner raising night game in Buffalo. I'm praying for those boys because it has potential to get ugly quickly. And I mean, we didn't talk about them much for a little bit because they were off last week, but Toronto's got a lot to prove in this game too. A rematch against Ottawa from week 1. They have not had an ideal start to their season. They are still missing guys to injury. That's going to be an interesting game to see how Toronto kind of responds coming out of a bye week. against the team that they've already played and against the team that, quite frankly, embarrassed them in week 1 of the season. So we'll see how it shakes out throughout the course of the weekend. But I think without any further ado, let's head on over to the pick pond, Deej.
Let's do it.
But before we do, make sure you guys check out our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. The best merch in the game. Rep OTB all year long. Get your official Outside the Box podcast shirts, hoodies from our merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Check out all their unique designs across the board. And when you go to check out at phiapparel.co, use code underground and you'll get 10% off your next merch order. That's code underground at phiapparel.co for 10% off your next merch order. And when you get your merch, tweet it at us, post it. We'll repost it everywhere. We want to see where you're rocking your merch from. Once again, phiapparel.co, code underground, 10% off your order. And this is your opportunity as well. Leave us a voicemail at our voicemail line, speakpipe.com/OTBLaxPod. Our voicemail line is open 24/7, 365. Sound off about your favorite teams, your lacrosse takes, anything that comes to mind. Leave us a voicemail. We will react to it on the pod. Speakpipe.com/OTBLaxPod. Now, let's head on over to the pick pond and dish out our final pick segment of 2024. It is the NLL Week 5 Picks of the Week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. Go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, New Jersey, and Delaware areas. You can also find it at your local liquor stores in those markets. Once again, that's kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny tracker. And you got to be 21 or older to do so. And of course, please drink responsibly. We start in Halifax as Deej comes into the week at 15-6. I come into the week at 10-11 in our picks. We start in Halifax where the Thunderbirds play host to the Albany Firewolves. Here's my take on this game. As badly as Halifax needs this game, Albany's coming in off of rest. Halifax has a lot of distraction around the organization right now. I don't care that they're at home. I think this is a perfect spot for Albany to get a very much needed win to kind of level out their season a little bit, coming in at 1-2. I'm taking the Firewolves to get a road win against the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Firewolves as well. As somebody who has had to play through similar type of distractions, it's very hard to do so. And especially at the professional level where teams can kind of really take advantage of not having a certain player and how that affects your lineup and the way that you have to move people around. It's going to be very tough, and it's an uphill battle for Halifax. Not that I don't think this game will be closer than some people think, because them being at the nest will play a factor into this. But I do think Albany comes out on top.
6:30. We're both raising banners, right? Buffalo in this one.
Yeah. Until Buffalo gives me a reason to pick against them, and until Rochester gives me a reason to pick them again, I got to go with Buffalo.
Are we both on the Ottawa train? In Ottawa against Toronto this weekend, in Hamilton, rematch from week 1.
What's the injury report look like? Has it changed? Because I ain't seen nothing come out.
I don't know.
You know
how they do.
That's something they need to add to, like, the preview page. They need to add the injury report to the preview page, because that would be great to know. I am going to lean on the side of Ottawa just because of that uncertainty there. They did have a nice little showing in their last game, but obviously it still wasn't enough. But I do think that Ottawa will come out on top again.
Yeah, I'm going Ottawa. Until it's very similar, like you said, until Toronto gives us a reason to pick them, and until they get healthy to a degree, I have no reason to select them to win a game until further notice. I do have an interesting tidbit here of news for this next game as we head to Saskatchewan for Philadelphia and Saskatchewan. On December 21st, so about a week ago, I don't know if he'll be active for this game or not, Robert Church was placed on injured reserve from the active roster. Josh Sawada on the active roster. That's why he played last week, because Robert Church was out. So something to monitor. Robert Church, obviously, cornerstone of that Saskatchewan offense. But Philly and Saskatchewan, you guys know where I'm going. The way the Wings offense is cooking right now is fantastic. It's going to be an awesome test to see them go up against this Saskatchewan defense that's been phenomenal to start the year in 3 games, only giving up 29 goals. But Saskatchewan has only scored 33 goals in their 3 games to Philly scoring 49. And I just don't see the trend not continuing with the way that the Wings offense is playing, where they score 15 or more. But it's going to be a good test for them. It's going to be a good test at the stripe to get possessions. But I am going to fly high with the Philadelphia Wings on the road and get another road victory to round out 2024.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Wings here as well. I like what their offense has been able to do this year. Saskatchewan has had a pretty good year to start, but their offense also hasn't been explosive as the Wings, and that's one thing that the Wings have kind of made their identity this year, is that if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to outscore us, and I don't believe that Saskatchewan can outscore the Wings.
We move to Calgary, the Teal Turf, to round out 2024. Your Roughnecks, the Warriors. The Warriors come out to play. I know you're going Calgary. I'm also going Calgary. Because very much like you just said about the Wings offense, I think Calgary's offense has the ability to take over the game with Dane and Curtis Dixon. I do think the interesting thing to pay attention to in this game will be Stathakis versus Justin Inacio at the stripe. So I'm excited for that battle. Stath has had a great start to his rookie campaign for Vancouver, and they're coming off some much-needed rest. It's going to be a battle of a game. I think it's going to be a very close game. Calgary's played in close games all year, so it won't surprise me if that continues. But I have been impressed by Vancouver's back end to start the year. Not that it's been perfect, but it's been pretty solid compared to what I think a lot of people have expected to start the year. So we'll see how it plays out. And obviously it's a rivalry game, so you kind of have to throw a lot out the window in a rivalry game. But I will be going with Calgary in a close one. Won't shock me if it's overtime type of game.
Oh, I mean, come on. Dane Doby, Jesse King, Curtis Dixon. Crazy what they've been doing. And you still got Tyler Pace there. You still got Hayden Dixon. And okay, I'm going to stop. Hey, you get the point. We just need somebody to step up between the pipes. Come on, Cam. I'm still eating Big Macs because y'all still figuring out how to win due to the offense being insane. I'm going to need you to step it up back there, big dog. Roughnecks by 2.
That would help the score differential. Final game of the weekend, 4 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, Georgia at Colorado. My personal game of the week. This is a game that I am like, these teams right now, the way they're playing, I'm just saying current build, current way they're playing through their first 4 and 3 games respectively for Colorado and Georgia are mirroring each other in a lot of ways. I just think what's playing into my decision right now, and it's kind of dumb because Georgia has one on the road, I think the Loud House is a very different environment than San Diego. And I think that plays into this game. Colorado's going to be going crazy, especially if the Broncos win on Saturday. That's going to be huge for them. I'm going to go with the Mammoth at home to get another win and improve to 4-1, which would potentially move them to the top of the standings in the league. This is a tough game. This is our
Flip
toughest game, I think.
Flip game.
Whoa!
I'm going Georgia. Georgia's kind of in that stratosphere right now where like I feel like I can't pick against them until they give me a reason to. And also, I mean, they got Lyle Thompson and they got Brett Dobson. I just want to see somebody have a good day. I want both teams to have fun. I really wish I could not pick a winner. Hoots, I'm sorry. I still rock with y'all.
We gonna get Lyle flicks and Zeddy flicks this week.
Zeddy Ball.
We gonna get Lyle pictures. Let's go. This game is gonna be fireworks. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun, and a lot at stake, depending on the outcomes of Saturday's games, potentially to be at the top of the standings in the league come the start of the new year. But those are our picks. We're both going Albany, Buffalo, Ottawa, Philly, Calgary. I've got Colorado. You've got Georgia in a battle of Zed Williams' current and former team. And those are our NLL Week 5.
Speaking of, you can stop the music if you want, because that is our NLL Week 5 picks.
Picks of the week, which I didn't even change the banner because I put the wrong one up. Boom, there you go. Picks of the week brought to you by Kenwood Beer.
Speaking of Zed Williams' former team, current team, our intro video has Zed Williams in a Whip Snakes jersey scoring on the Water Dogs.
I'll have to clip that.
And it like just caught my eye like today, and I was like, oh,
which is funny because nobody knows we play that intro video at all. We just use it for like timing sake to start the show. It's literally the 2021 PLL year in review video. That's funny. That's very funny. I still can't believe Zed is a Water Dog. That's crazy.
I mean, what's this? Tierney was cooking.
It's about damn time. Here's a fun thing to round this out for this episode, because I feel like it's very funny the way it works, because LeBron James, obviously, that Warriors-Lakers game on Christmas Day was unreal down the stretch.
Oh, yeah.
And LeBron dropping, I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day. Isn't it funny how damn near every sport claims a holiday for their sport, like to be the spectacle?
Yeah.
Halloween is baseball because you got the World Series going on around that time. Thanksgiving is football. Christmas is the NBA. New Year's is the NHL. And Memorial Day is lacrosse.
Yeah, Memorial Day is definitely lacrosse. Who else is going to say that?
Right.
I think baseball might have some games on, but they don't claim it like that.
Yeah.
So
Baseball, that's like a litmus test day for baseball. It's like you see where you're at on Memorial Day to figure out if your team's going to be high or if you got to fix some things. But they are Halloween. It's funny how every sport gets a holiday to kind of claim as their rightful day or their rightful like time frame.
Right, and here come what's they face trying to have more than what they need. The NFL. Everybody gets one, buddy. You don't need to try and take two. You got Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. Tired of them. I wouldn't be surprised they started trying to do some Halloween games. They're annoying.
For who to do Halloween games?
NFL.
They already do.
Annoying.
It's right in the middle of the season.
So is Thanksgiving and so is Christmas. I don't mean they get to have all of them.
Well, you already know that we're going to get Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, Cowboys, Steelers, Ravens. We're going to get every single big marquee rivalry game. We'll probably get Packers, Vikings. Like, we're going to have like 8 NFL games on Christmas next year because Christmas falls on a Thursday. Get ready. Roger's going to drop his nuts on the table and be like, yeah, you like that, LeBron? I thought today was your day.
Hey, listen. They don't want to do that because the NBA will really clap back and lose. I clap back and lose.
Here's my thing too with that whole situation of the streaming numbers coming out and everything. You could put Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy and Rocky from that episode of SpongeBob in the snail race in an NFL game, and that'd be all the players, and people would put it on. The NBA product, oddly enough, it's been shit for a while. Every single game on Christmas was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Like, storylines, back and forth, great games. The NFL games were fucking horrid on Christmas.
Yeah, 31-2, bro.
How was that not scoregami?
You got a good point, bro.
It was that score had happened 2 prior times, and the last time it happened was 1965. I told Harrison and Christian, I said, "Oh, so we got modern day scoregami then."
Facts.
Like, how is 31-2 not scoregami? And it was the first 17-2 halftime score in NFL history. We had halftime scoregami.
I did see the halftime scoregami. I was like, now that is embarrassing.
It's crazy. How do you?
I was like, I don't know how to categorize that.
How do you only score 2 points in an NFL game? And like, don't get me wrong, I like CJ Stroud. A lot of them talking heads anointed him the chosen one way too soon.
It's just sophomore slump, bro. Chill out. Just sophomore slump, bro. Chill out.
Saying.
And he's still doing better than every other Ohio State quarterback to come out outside of Justin Fields. Him and Justin Fields are proving that like Ohio State kind of can do something with a quarterback. Because the rest of them are buns.
Valid. That's all we got for you guys on this one. Make sure you're following us at OTB LaxPod. Subscribe to the pod. Follow all the boys on the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Let's get to 900 subscribers. Come on. Check out Shootout For Soldiers website. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, 2 events for 2025 already on the schedule. High Point University's Military Appreciation Games and Shootout For Soldiers in Houston, Texas on March 8th and 9th. The High Point University Military Appreciation Games on February 15th. Both are available to register now at shootoutforsoldiers.com/events. Register for those bad boys if you are able to do so. Learn how to donate and find out more information about Shootout For Soldiers. Link is in the description. Check out their website. They are the presenting partner of the Outside the Box podcast. And enjoy the games. Our last episode of the year, Deej. What a year 2024 was.
You can say that again. 2025, though, we up.
Are we, though?
Tell them we up. I want you to put the word out there.
Okay, Idris.
That we up. You might, hey, I don't know if I'm up then, since you talking about is we. I'm up.
I'm just at, we don't know yet.
So the OTB going to be, no, I'm telling you, I'm going to be up this year.
Well, since it is our last episode of the year, too, before we go, this was last year. How do we do?
Actually, I did very well. I only drank on special occasions, like I said.
So you were just a little damp.
Yeah.
Throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Me going dry is almost impossible. I just got too much family around, and it will like literally like hold your mouth open and like make you drink.
Pause.
I know, bro. I know.
Time out. Quick 20.
Actually, it's 30, but yeah.
Well,
this is 30-second timeout.
We can only afford 20.
This is a 30-second timeout, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying ours is just a 20. We can't afford 30, so
why can't
snap? If you want to sponsor the pod, emails in the description.
Y'all heard the man.
We get you a nice little 30-second commercial break there.
Bro, I am D-Wade to LeBron out here, bro. Live with something crazy.
Yeah, next week will be the first episode of 2025, and we'll see what it has in store. Everybody continue to enjoy your holidays, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the Lacrosse on TV this weekend. Have a safe and happy new year.
Yes.
And this has been episode number 355 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, and of course, viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For Deej, I'm KB. Thanks for an awesome 2024. We'll see you in 2025. And until then, we're getting the heck up out of here and signing the f off. Peace.